Welcome everybody. Today's exercise is on factorization. It might sound kind of daunting, but it's very straightforward, but it is an important section moving forward. It builds on from the last exercise. Concepts were introduced there. Today we're going to just build on that and we're going to try and cement it so it makes a lot more sense. So please pay close attention as this is a very important section. So when we talk about factorization, what we are trying to do is get as many factors as possible, excluding one. We don't want to use one as a factor. And each number must be as factorized as much as it can be. So what we're saying is we actually want to take a value and we want to express it as a product of its prime numbers. The previous lesson we explained what prime numbers are. In this lesson we're now going to take different values and we'll break them down into products of their prime numbers. There are two methods I'm going to show you today. You can use either one. It's good to understand both methods. They're both fairly straightforward. The one is a factor ladder, the other one we call a factor tree. We're going to demonstrate both of them. Look and see, use which one you like the most. At the end of the day, you must use what you're comfortable with. So you've got two options here. Try both and see which one you enjoy the most at the end of the day. Right, so I'm going to start with a factor ladder, and the number I'm going to use, I'm going to say, is 96. Okay, so the question would normally be is express 96 in as many factors as possible, or they might also even say as a product of its prime numbers. That is the same question, it's just asked in a different way. So to express in as many factors as possible, and I'll usually say excluding one, we're going to use what we call this ladder method, and it will go like this. So I build my little ladder and I start with 96 over here. I always start at the lowest prime number that I can think of, and that will always be 2, and I'll say, can 2 go into 96? And it can, because 96 divided by 2 is 48. Okay, now I'll go back and I say, well, I'll still stay with 2. Can 2 go into 48? It can. 48 divided by 2 is 24. Once again, I'm staying on the number 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So I can still use 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now, obviously, I can't use 3 or 2 anymore. So I would say, well, what is my next prime number? My next prime number after 2 is 3. So I can go 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Once I get to that point where I've got a 1 there, I now know I've got all my factors. Alright, so I know 96 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, and that will give me 96. If you understand powers, you know that 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is actually 2 to the power of 5, which is times 3, which is 96. And there what we have done is we have now written 96 as product of its prime factors, or an expression of the most factors that we can, alright, without using one. I'm going to go into the next method and you can see which one you prefer. Right, so now we're looking at what we call the factor tree. I'm going to still use 96. You can see that we still get the same result at the end of the day. So what you need to do here at 96 is you need to find two numbers or two factors that go into 96. And you can start with any two except 1 and 96, because 1 we can't use. So remember, 1 we can't use is one of our factors. So for this example, we will use 8 times 12. So I'm going to do two little branches over here, and I'll say, well, I've got 8 and I've got 12, because 8 times 12 is 96. Now I'm going to start whittling down my tree. So I say, well, what can I do with 8? We know 8 is 2 times 4. Alright, so I've broken 8 down into as many factors as I can. 2, I can't go any further. But 4, we know is 2 times 2. Alright, if I go to the other branch for my 12, I know 12 is, if I go here, that will be 2 times 6. But I know 6 I can break down into 2 and 3. So using this, I can now identify what all my factors are. And that's where the branches end. So this branch ends here, that one ends there, that one ends there, that one ends there, and over there. So looking at that, I can see immediately that where all my branches ends, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, and I get 96. And as I did in the previous one, I can make that 2 to the power of 5 times 3 is 96. So I've got the same answer using two different methods. Once again, choose your method that you're more comfortable with. They're both nice methods to use. Just the one that confuses you the least is obviously the best one I would suggest, and they will always work. All right. Enjoy the exercise, have fun, and please, if you're unsure of anything, go back, watch this video again, watch the previous one again. Make sure that you're not getting confused or left behind at this section.